Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a video about makeup brushes, what they're used for, and how to care for them. So we're going to go down to my bathroom and I'm going to show you how I clean my brushes, how I dry them, and what some of them are used for. So if this sounds interesting to you, I hope you will stay, watch the whole video all the way through, give it a thumbs up, and also I would really love it if you would join my community by subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. With that, let's get started and head down to my bathroom. Okay ladies, we're down in my bathroom. You're actually seeing me through my mirror because I have a big mirror behind my counter. We are in the process of sort of renovating our kitchen and bathrooms. Our bathroom is half done, but our counter and sinks and faucets are going to be on hold for a little bit. We had gotten a price a couple of years ago, and now in the last 2 years because of inflation, the price has gone up so much. We're going to do our kitchen. The bathroom's going to wait till next year, even though we bought our faucets that are sitting over there on the floor right now. But I wanted to show you how I do my brushes, and my daughter's bathroom is way too small. She doesn't have hardly any counter space, so that's got to be fixed too. I like this because I have 2 sinks in our bathroom. I use one for washing and one for a quick rinse, and then I have towels, little microfiber towels on the counter here, and I don't know if you can see them. This is some of my brushes. These are the ones that I use most often. I have another drawer in my little container where I keep most of my makeup that has even more brushes. But I'm just going to go through some of these and then I'm going to show you quickly how I clean them. This section is all my eye brushes. My favorite eye brushes that I absolutely love, and I've used them in many, many videos, are my Angie Hot and Flashy brushes. As you can see, these right here. This is your big fluffy crease brush. This is used, this is used mostly for putting things in your transition shade and for blending out. You can see that. They have a smaller one that pretty much is the same thing. It's got the round tapered edge. It's for getting deeper into your crease. And there's also an even finer one that they have that I use for my outer corner. They have this fluffier flat shader brush. I use this for putting eyeshadow under my highlighter, and then they have a totally flat brush, and I absolutely love this. If you're using any kind of glitter shadow or anything, you can either put it on with your fingers or you can use this brush, which I absolutely love for doing that. It works very, very well. I have several different brushes that I've gotten from other companies that basically are the same thing. These are my rounded contour brushes. Those all need to be washed. I have some from It Cosmetics that I absolutely love. This one has got your crease brush on one end and your fluffy brush on the other end, so you can pack on your lid or under your brow. And then this is for your crease. So I have several different ones like that. Some of my other favorites are little smaller ones like this. This one's from Bare Essentials that I got years ago. And it's really small, but you can use this for putting eyeshadow as a liner under your eyes or for smoking out eyeshadow. This is my absolute favorite brush, and I have not found any like this. I'm sure there's some out there, and you can see how thin this is. It's wide this way and it's angled, and it's thin this way. This is perfect for using shadow as an eyeliner because you can take your hand, make a thin line like this. You can actually press it into your lash line. Love this. When this came out and I worked at Bare Essentials, I think I bought 3 of them. I have 2 left. I have like a big variety. I have another one. This is from It Cosmetics. It's got your bigger one here. It's got a smaller tip here that can be used for smudging out eyeshadows and stuff. So I have a wide variety of different eye brushes. What you want if you're doing basic eyes, you want to get a crease brush, like the big fluffy one, a smaller one that's a little bit flatter that you can use to put your eyeshadow under your brow, and then a super flat one that you can press on lid colors. Those are basic ones, and then I would go and get something that's small like this for doing your smoky shadow underneath your eyes. As far as face brushes go, I have several different ones. This is my Angie from BK Beauty, my blush brush. I absolutely love this. It's nice and soft and fluffy, but it also is on an angle, so it works very, very well to put your blush on. I have a couple of different ones that I've gotten from other brands. As far as foundation, great to show you. I've got several different ones that I have purchased. This is from IT Cosmetics, and you can tell this is very, very well used. Dirty, needs to be cleaned. It's an angle brush. This is called their Heavenly Skin. This works, it's called Skin Smoothing Complexion. This is their 704. This works really well with your cream foundations. It leaves it really smooth and flawless, gives it an airbrush look. This is another one. This is the Heavenly Skin, but this is a rounded one. I like this one better for powder foundations. It is good for cream foundations as well, but I like it a little bit better because of the rounded end. I got this one. This is a buffing foundation. This is just from e.l.f. And this works really good with liquid or powder. So when you're looking for a foundation brush, you want something that's a little bit denser. It's got a lot of bristles in it, and you can see this. It's got a lot of bristles. So it's going to be able to buff. If it's too loose, that's better for loose powder. But for foundation, where you want a little bit more brushed in or pressed in look, you're going to want something that's a little bit denser. If you want something like for powder, this is my IT Cosmetic brush. I use this. You can see this is really big. It's nice and fluffy. It's got a lot of bristles on it, but it's also very loose. This is perfect for putting your loose setting powders on because it just buffs in really, really nice. This is also good for putting bronzer on if you want just a light coating of bronzer. You can also get something. I just got this. This is an e.l.f. It's called a Total Face Brush. And you can see how this is really fluffy, but it's loose. So that would be good for putting a light coating of powder on your face. I also have, this one is a pointed powder one from e.l.f. and it's the same thing. This is good. You can tell I use this for bronzer. It's big, it's fluffy, but it's not super dense like your foundation brushes. So it's going to blend out your colors, your foundation, your bronzer a little bit better. That's something that I think everyone should have in their arsenal. I've got a couple of double-ended brushes that I've gotten from like IT Cosmetics in my case. I have a super small one. This is a e.l.f. Blending Perfector. This little brush right here, I use this for putting powder underneath my eyes because it's loose, but it's small, so I can just put a little bit of powder under my eyes to set my eyes. That's something that's good. And e.l.f. brushes are really cheap. They do make some very good brushes. This is another one. This is a double-ended one. This is something that's, to me, perfect for vacation because you can use it for your bronzer on one end, and on this end, you can use it for your contouring. Take your bronzer and use this small and do the side of your nose. So this is a good multi-use brush, and I like to buy brushes like this, especially for traveling. For blush, I showed you the first one. This is another one that's a good blush brush. It's from e.l.f. It's just loose. You don't want anything that's super dense or tight for your blush. You want it loose so it will just put in a light layer and blend out your blushes. Those are just some of the brushes that I use. I do also have a couple of fan brushes that I have purchased. These are really good for highlighters. They go up on your cheek really, really well. I'm going to move this camera up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see this. They go right across your cheek. Love them. Those are just a couple of the brushes that I use. And like I say, I've got multiples of several of them. I got specialized brushes when I got the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. putty blushes. I bought the little brush that went with it. Concealer. Absolute favorite for putting concealer on is my Angie BK Beauty concealer brush. I love how this is on an angle. I have seen a couple more of those from other brands that have come out. I would definitely recommend something like this. It's very soft bristles, but they're on an angle. It really blends in your concealer really good. I would recommend for most people, and this is my opinion, synthetic brushes. The BK Beauty brushes are synthetic. Most of the brushes that I have here are synthetic. I have used brushes that were a real hair previously. They work good. One thing I have noticed when you're using brushes that are made out of real hair and you're using a liquid foundation or liquid product, they will absorb the product a lot, number one. Number two, when I worked at Bare Essentials and we had the real hair brushes, and we used to sell our starter kit that came with your foundation, your mineral veil, your bronzer, and it came with different brushes and they were real hair. We had a lot of people return the kit because they were allergic to the hair in the animal hair that's used to make brushes. So that's another thing that could be a concern to some people if they have allergies. So keep that in mind. If you have allergies to anything like that, you're going to want to probably pick up synthetic brushes. Now I'm going to turn the camera off for a second. I'm going to move it around and I'm going to show you how I clean my brushes. Okay, I hope you can see this. This is down in my sink. I'm going to put some brush cleaner in this water. Get it to suds up a little bit. And what this is in here, this is what they call, it's an actual brush cleaner. It's meant for that. And what you're going to do with your brushes, it's got different sections in here that say they're for eye brushes or face brushes or whatever. You never ever want to get above here wet. You just want to get your bristles wet, so you don't put a lot of water in here. And what you're going to do is you're just going to rub it. There's soap in the water, and it's meant to be, you just rub them back and forth. And this is what it's meant to do. And you can see, and then I go over to my other sink and I rinse. But I go through each one of my brushes in the soapy water. Try to keep them up as high as I can. I just go back and forth. You can see it's taking all of the makeup right out of these brushes. I got this brush cleaner, I believe it was at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. And it works great. I can even do, and I've got a couple of double-ended brushes here in my hand right here, but I can do 3 brushes at once when I'm doing my eye brushes. And you can see the water already turning a nice yucky color because of the makeup that's coming out. But it is very, very important to clean your brushes. I'm going to turn these 2 over. You do not want anything that you're putting on your eyes or your face not to be clean. You could end up with eye infections and different things. Okay, now I've got these. I'm going to take them over to my other sink. It's got a small amount of water in it. Sorry, I can't move you guys over with me. And I rinse them off. Get the soap out of them. You never want to leave the soap in your brushes because it's going to hurt your brushes. Once I'm done rinsing them, back here, once I'm done rinsing them, I just sort of squeeze the tips just a little bit to get the excess water out. And then I'm going to show you right over here. Move this over. I have a little microfiber towel. I have a couple of them lined up on my counter here, and I just lay them flat to dry. You never ever want to dry your brushes sitting up like this, because any water that's in there will go down into the shaft of your brush, and that will loosen up all of the glue. And I continue to do the same thing with all of my brushes here. And like I said, I can do with eye brushes, I can do several at once. Just want to stay up on the high end. I'm going to rub them back and forth. And you can see it's taken the color right out of them, all that makeup. Go over to my other sink, rinse them out. And then I'm going to squeeze them out a little bit. Okay. So I keep doing this on all of my brushes. And as my water gets dirty in this sink, usually I can do all of my eye brushes that I have used. I just cleaned most of my brushes recently before I did this video, so I don't have all of them too clean. But what I normally will do, again, I'm going to squeeze them out a little bit, helps them dry faster, and then I'm going to move them over to my little towel. Now, my water in here is getting a little bit colored and dirty, so I'm just going to get rid of that, rinse it out, and then we're going to go into our bigger brushes. Same thing with these. I'm going to swish them around real good. Rinse it off. Get all that soap out. Then I'm going to squeeze it out. And then I'm going to lay it flat. And you just want to do that with all of your brushes. Okay, so I'm going to move you over here and I'm going to show you how. These are all my brushes just laid out here on the counter. I've got them on 2 different little microfiber towels. Oops. So that is how I do my brushes. Then of course I've got to go through and clean my sinks because my sinks now have makeup in them. But I'm just going to leave them here. I'll leave them here. I've done my makeup for the day. And so these will have all night to dry. It's really nice, but again, always lay your brushes flat. Do not dry them this way. Okay, came back up to my studio because that was very hard because I have a big mirror in my bathroom and trying to shoot into the sink and having to face the mirror instead of facing you. So it may not be the best quality, but I do hope that you got the concept and learned a little bit on how to take care of your brushes and what some of the brushes are for. Again, if any of you have any comments or questions on what brushes are used for what, I would love to help you out with that. Like, as I've said before, I worked at Bare Essentials for 4 years, so I did learn a lot about what brushes to use for what application, as far as eyes, face, cheeks, whatnot, and also how to take care of them. And it is very important, ladies, take care of your brushes, wash them frequently. Make sure, as I had said before, when you are washing them and you're rubbing it on the little thing, cleaner, you don't want it this deep in a water, because what's going to happen is this part of your brush where your bristles are all glued in and where this part is glued to this, it's going to loosen up your glue, and you don't want that to happen because your expensive brushes, some of these brushes are expensive. I have some expensive brushes and I have cheaper brushes. I guess if you're using them as throwaway brushes, you wouldn't mind, but I don't want to have to rebuy my good brushes because I've mistreated them, and you always want to treat them right. Don't use harsh chemicals. Get a brush cleaner or use a gentle shampoo on them. Especially if you do have hair brushes, you want to use something that's really gentle because they are a little bit more fragile, and they do have a tendency to shed sometimes. That's the other thing I noticed about hair brushes. But always when you're doing your brushes on your little pad, make sure you're not going above here. You just want to clean the brush. You're not cleaning your handle. You can wipe that off with a damp rag easily enough. You just want to clean your brushes. Rinse them out good, get the soap out of them and the shampoo out of them. Squeeze them a little bit, lay them flat to dry, or if you have one of the dryers that hangs it this way, so the water, any water is in there that will drip out. You don't want anything going down into your handles. Take care of your brushes and they will last you for years to come. Some of the brushes that I have are, I think, 10 years old. Some of them I've had to throw out. I did lose a lot of my brushes that I had when I worked at Bare Essentials that were hair brushes. They started shedding a lot after so many years. They do just start shedding. So I didn't have them as long as I would have liked because I did like some of them, and they worked good for powder. And working at Bare Essentials, their products were powder products. They had a powder foundation and everything, so it's not like it absorbed a lot of the makeup. But when I tried to use them on liquid makeup, natural hair brushes will, because they're like your hair, they absorb the moisture, so they will absorb the product if it is a liquid product. So I hope that helped you out. Again, I do want to apologize. It was a little bit difficult trying to film in a bathroom where you're limited on space. We have our counter and a wall, and I can't get my camera back far enough to get back and up far enough to show you, the whole wide spans. And I know different people have different bathroom layouts, and like I said, ours is in the process of being renovated, so hopefully next time if I do like a hair video or some other one where I'm in the bathroom, it'll be set up a little bit different. So I do hope you enjoyed this. Again, I would love it if you would join my community by hitting the subscribe button, ringing the notification bell, and if you did like it, giving it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or any questions, put them below, and I'm looking at my comments and I'm answering any comments that I do get. I do want you to go out and have a wonderful, blessed day, and we will see you again soon. Thank you.